Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo92 and today we are back with a brand new video. Today's video is all about what matters most, and that is the league, because finally, and I mean finally, league football is back. But before we go any further on with today's video, as always, a quick shout out to the channel sponsors and the channel legends themselves, OneFootball. The link will be down there in the description below if you want a wee bit of extra Rangers news. I don't know what this move was. I didn't like it. But weird, awkward hand gestures to one side, we finally have some content to dive into. So let's just get on with it then, shall we? And as always, we're going to be starting off with the opposition preview. And that is, of course, St Mirren. Now, St Mirren are actually coming into this game versus Rangers being one of the few teams in the top flight of Scottish football that I've been impressed with in terms of their football and style, getting the ball down and trying playing football the right way. If you watch the SPFL show, you already know St Mirren are one of the few teams in this league that likes to get the ball down and play football. Well, that impressiveness, that little nugget of information is just being flung right over the shoulder, because the St Mirren manager ahead of this game versus Rangers has came in and says they're not only going to park one bus, but they're going to park two. Oh, what an advert for Scottish football that is. No wonder we are called Tin Pot. But believe it or not, Jim Goodwin wasn't finished there, ladies and gentlemen. Nah. He's been doing a hell of a lot of talking ahead of this game versus Rangers tomorrow, and despite admitting his team is clear underdogs, which I think everyone already knows as St Mirren travels to Ibrox, he still fancies his team's chances tomorrow if they can keep it tight and congested within the first 15 minutes of the game and turn the Ibrox crowd against its own players. This is coming from Jim Goodwin. He hopes to make the crowd very anxious and very nervous, which will hopefully spread onto the players and give the St Mirren players a boost. Now, I've got to be honest, he's made my job very easy for this preview to break down the St Mirren side, because he's told us everything we need to know about tomorrow's game. However, the one thing I did find very interesting about his comments is he hasn't just come here to park the two buses and just clear the ball away and play the percentages and just give the ball back to Rangers, because he even said in his own words that doesn't work, and it showed that this season. Where their play style and where their defensive mindset, they're going to have to keep the ball and frustrate the life out of Rangers. That is how they plan to play tomorrow. Defensive, yes, but very, very possession based, and to try and win the possession battle at Ibrox. That is going to be very interesting to see if they stick to it. But let's move away from the manager and the potential way that they could set up tomorrow versus Rangers and just reflect very, very briefly on this St Mirren side then, shall we? They currently sit in 10th position, having lost a league high 12 matches so far this season. However, it is worth pointing out that they've only lost one of the last 6, which was a 2-1 loss versus Celtic. And last but not least, you can't preview an opposition without looking at the last time the two teams met, and they've already met once so far this season, and at St Mirren's ground, Rangers came away with a very tight grey-hair Turner 1-0 victory thanks to an unbelievable free kick from Bornabir Barisic, which not only won us that game of football, but probably, the argument could be made, won him his Rangers career, because since that moment, since that goal versus St Mirren, he's just been simply incredible. So are we due a repeat? And I think with all that being said, that is the St Mirren preview done and dusted. They've let us know the game plan. Now it's over to Rangers to rip up that game plan and make sure it's not a factor in tomorrow's game. And that right there is the perfect transition and the perfect opportunity to dive over and talk about what matters most, and that is of course Rangers Football Club. And as always, we are going to be starting off by diving into this week's official press conference. And the first thing that stood out to me in this week's press conference is something I wanted to fire over to you guys to let me know your opinions on it, and it's the preparation this year compared to last year and the changes that they've made going into the second half of last season, because we didn't want to go through it all. But remember in last season where the Cowdenbeath game was cancelled, we went into that game versus Kilmarnock cold, we ended up getting caught and we kind of just threw it away, went through a really sticky spell. Well, Gerrard has done everything pretty much he could do to make sure that that is completely flipped on its head. Not only have we obviously had the game versus Stranraer. Sorry, I couldn't keep that in any longer. But not only did we have that game versus Stranraer, but a couple of days later we had a behind the doors friendly as well that a lot of the first team players actually played in. So that's even more minutes into the legs. Me personally, I think this is an absolute brilliant move by Steven Gerrard to try and minimise any kind of ring rust or a slow start going into the league, because we all know where we stand. It was a fantastic way to end before the winter break. Hell, the Scottish media are still greeting about it. But given the fact we couldn't build on that momentum and had to take that little bit of a break, and you see our track record after international breaks and after winter breaks, I think this is a bit of a masterstroke by Gerrard, just by getting as much minutes as possible into these players' legs. So it's almost like there was no time off at all, and it just continued to rock and roll. And I honestly think this right here could be the difference maker in lifting trophies or not. But I just wanted to know what your thoughts and reactions are to the extra preparation that's been taken by Rangers this season. Do you think it's going to be a positive, or do you think it's a non-factor? Now, the last thing we're going to be discussing from this week's press conference is something that is really starting to annoy me, and it's really starting to wind me up, if I'm being brutally honest with you. And I could see by Gerrard's face and the way he answered the question that it's burning him up and it's pissing him off as well. It's when the media asked Steven Gerrard, when is this extra game that we are due, the game in hand, when is that getting played? Gerrard answered he doesn't have a clue. The SFA, the SPFL, whoever's in charge hasn't let Rangers know when on earth is that game in hand going to be finally played. Hell, there's even rumours that the game that we are due is going to be played post-split. Are you freaking kidding me? This right here is a perfect example of how stupid the people are in charge of Scottish football. Why on earth did they allow Celtic to get this type of advantage that could potentially stretch now to the last 7 weeks of the season? Where's the sense in it? I didn't understand it at all. It's honestly an absolute shambles, and it's a complete embarrassment that these idiots are in charge of our league. Instead of greeting about gestures and what happened with this and what happened because you lost a game of football, the pundits in the Scottish game should be talking about this instead of gestures and celebrations. Apologies for ranting, by the way. I just find this absolutely ludicrous why this has been even allowed to happen in the first place, and why no one is even talking about it. I'm actually very interested to know what your thoughts are and reactions to this, given the fact that our game in hand, which would allow us, if we win it, to go top of the league, is just absolutely nowhere to be seen. But while you guys are hopefully sharing your opinions on that, we will jump over to the latest team news as always and give you a quick little rundown. Morelos is, yes, suspended. You've got Tavernier, who's definitely ruled out. Greg Stewart is also ruled out of this game as he continues to nurse himself back, so fingers crossed we see Greggy Stewart, aka Mr. Brace, very soon. But everyone else is good to go and fully fit from Friday, apart from obviously Hollander, who's got a long-term injury. And with that being said, that is the team news, that is the press conference, and that is the preview wrapped up and completed. Now it's time to jump over to the prediction ons and share our thoughts about this game tomorrow. So while you guys are hopefully diving into the comments to guess and get your predictions out there, I'll give you mine very briefly. I am going to go with a Rangers 2, St Mirren 0. Not the scoreline I don't think many people is going to be predicting. Again, I've not seen Twitter yet, but I just feel like it's going to be a sticky game. They've already let their game plan be known. I see it being a grey hair turner, as we like to say on this channel, but I feel like we're going to have enough quality, and I believe that Nikola Katic is going to be a difference maker once again with a big boy set piece. And as always, if he starts, he scores. So I'm picking Jermaine Defoe. And now that me and thee have had their say, let's sit back, relax and hear from the people on Twitter then. There's been 1,473 votes. Thank you so much for getting involved. 2% votes for St Mirren, 2% votes for the draw, but the far and away winner with the highest percentage so far of the season, with 96% of the vote, is our Rangers home win. So let's see what they've had to say. Deaky Neils is the first one in, and Deaky writes in, well win, going for 4-0. Kent, Defoe, dirty double and an Aribo goal. We'll love to see that. JMK writes, if Barisic and Kent are in form, no one can stop us. Ian McDougall writes in, Rangers to return to league business and smash St Mirren 3-0. You will see a different Rangers to the cup game as the energy and fast-paced movement will return. Defoe ×2 and Aribo for the win. Also think Patterson should be in for Tav for this game. Proved himself in the cup. Now, I did have a sneaky suspicion I'd be reading something like that out in today's video. That is why I've left it right to the very end to see the legends who watch to the end of today's video. I want to ask you, is Patterson starting tomorrow versus St Mirren if it was up to you, or do you go with Flanagan at your right back spot. Next up, you have Andrew Wilson, and he writes in 3-0 to Rangers. Arfield, Defoe and Katic with the goals. Thomas Lee writes in 4-0. Borna to get 1, Young Patterson to get 1, and Defoe to get 2. Gustav writes in 4-0 also to Rangers. A Defoe dirty double, Davis and a Ryan Jack goal. You know how to sweet talk me, Gustav. Mike.G writes in 3-0. Defoe, Kent and Katic with the goal. Young Patterson to keep his place too. The nation already knows the questions before I even ask them. That is how in sync we are. Philip Ewan McGregor writes in 2-0 Rangers. Boring game, but Jack and Defoe to score. Andrew Bluebell writes in, I think a hard-fought 3-0 to the Rangers, CJ. Defoe, dirty double, and Kent to get the other one. Ross Cameron writes in, a tough-fought 2-0. They have been difficult to play against. We need to improve at unlocking very defensive teams. The friendly in Dubai was encouraging on that front. And the last one we're going to read out in tonight's video, we'll scroll all the way down to the bottom and we'll stop it right here, and it comes from Dunk, and he writes in 3-0 to Rangers. Defoe, Katic and Joe Aribo with the goal. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the league football is back, and you've heard from the people, you've heard from myself. If you haven't done so already, let me know your thoughts and opinions down there in the comment section below. But as always, I've been CJ92. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.